IVM.
Hello, Amit. I won't be able to record today, yaar.
Why? What happened, Cyrus?
Man, I've got to go to the bank. I have to open a new account. That document filing, profiling. You got to show this card, that card, this verification, that too many processes. Man, they should have to ease these things up, yaar. There's no way a normal person can do this.
Well, there is a way to do this. All you have to do is you can do all of this sitting at home if you have a Bank of Baroda account.
Huh? But I have a Bank of Baroda account.
Awesome. Then all you really need to do to avail of 95% of all retail banking services domestically, just download the Bob World app and use the banking services right at your fingertips.
Oh, wow, sorted. See you in the studio then. What a relief. Bank of Baroda, we live in your world.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative.
Hello, ladies and other people. Because today's show is dedicated to football, I'm warning you at the outset that most of the talk will be about football. I myself, not the greatest football connoisseur in the world, but thanks to my son, I've been converted somewhat. But I've got three real experts, crazy, absolute. I mean, these people kill for football and literally kill. Huh? They've hurt people, they're violent men. They'll come on in a second. But before we get into that, I want to quickly mention that the numbers are rising again. Pan-India, won't get into which city here and there, some a little better than others, but basically there's a bit of a rise. So in case the great Chief Minister of Maharashtra, whose name will come to me at some point when I Google it, if he's going to do lockdown part 3, episode C, 2.7, paragraph 4B, I just think he should go for a more half-day culture where we work from 5 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, and then he can shut the city as far as I'm concerned. Because I feel urban Indians start too late. I've been trying to do a meeting for the last 1 week with another company, and they only want to do meetings after 1. Finally, I found out they come to work at 11:30. So this has to end. I want a country where everybody gets up early and starts working at 5. You don't waste time faffing and you don't have these silly rants like I'm doing right now. Get to the point, get to your work, finish it off and F off as quickly as possible. So 5 to 3. Shri, what's the name of the Chief Minister? Somebody fill me in, put it in the chat so we know who he is, and we'll send him a note as soon as possible because it is a possibility. Lockdown 3.07 coming soon.
Eventually, you'll see the end of your childhood,
get accustomed to womanhood,
enjoy the experience of sisterhood,
might get to wifehood,
or not, choose motherhood,
or not. You'll learn to define your personhood,
earn a livelihood,
change the neighborhood,
and get rid of the falsehood that life post-academia is easy.
So join me, Ritasha,
And me, Ayushi,
on a journey from station starting point
to station, what now?
next station, Pudin station, and hopefully Agla station, adulthood.
Fresh episodes out every Thursday.
We're going to meet the guys from Football Twaddle, the only paid group on IVM. These guys charge lakhs, ladies and gentlemen, lakhs of rupees just to smile. I owe money to Yash already. Saru's bank have to be broken. And thankfully, Baru, who is Saru's brother, will come to that because they look like a cheap imitation of the Spice Girls. What the hell is Saru? What's going on? And Yash, why aren't you Yaru or something? Just to complete the trilogy. Yeah. Okay, but before we start at the outset, it's the IVM podcast called Football Twaddle. There was a Hoddle who used to play back in the day when I was a young man for England. Yeah. But Twaddle, I just, whatever. There must be a reason why that's the title. Who am I to ask? I'm a narcissist who's put my name in the title. That's not done anymore. So unclassy. But quickly, let's mention. So, Saru, Baru, and Yash, three of you all together. First and foremost, who's the football player amongst you? Who's like the real actual? I mean, there's got to be some backstory there.
Well, Baru and I play on weekends.
Okay, Baru's on solo. He's on mute,
so he's gone. So Yash probably is the player.
Yash, are you a good footballer? Actually, in actuality?
Well, I get by on all the turfs in Bombay. I mean, Baru and I play on every Friday. And generally on weekends again.
What a slap to Saru. What a slap to him. You just made sure that he's the guy who doesn't play. Okay, I get it.
He's more of a manager, and these days managers really count a lot.
Let's call him Klopp. He'll be Klopp for me because we are big Liverpool supporters.
Wow.
My son, I can't tell you, my whole life changed when he became a Liverpool supporter because all the frigging games at 11:30, 12:30, 2:30 and all that, and we would hear him crying, screaming. Well, they had one bad year about a year back, one great year before that, and now things are. We'll come to that. We'll come to that in a second. First question: why are we all following or rather, why urban Indian kids basically follow foreign football? Nobody follows Indian football. I mean, there's all this ISL and there's a lot of money pumped into it. What is this? Is there a complex that we have, or is it fair to say that our football is just not fun enough and only old retired players come here, like soon to be Ronaldo, whose transfer I heard is on the cards? Is that true? That's something you have to get into. So why foreign football, boys? Nobody.
I think it's all about how it's been packaged. Ever since we guys were kids, especially, good production quality and good looks good on TV. When you switch to Z Sports and you'd look what's happening over there with, hazy pitches and patchy, grass everywhere, and everyone's like just lobbing the ball around. The quality of football just didn't work out, right? And
Is it that, or is it just that the stars are all in the EPL and the La Liga and the Bundesliga, etc., etc.? And is that because, let's face it, they've not been able to get the young stars in. It's not like you're going to get to see Messi play Ronaldo, in one of our ISL games. I would think that would really change everything.
Yet.
If you get the big guns.
Looking at how things are going, I think in 10 years,
at 40, they're all coming. They've understood it's a retirement fund, so that's fine. But even Mohamed Salah was playing at Cooperage or something. I mean, there'll be crowds outside, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's a wedding next door at Cooperage once when Baru and I went to watch a match.
Yeah. And one of the defenders, they cleared the ball over the goal. It went into the wedding hall. It hit somebody's buffet. किसी के दाल मखनी में वो बेचारा football पढ़ा था. They went and they actually apologized also. They're like, why did you have a marriage over here?
No, but poor guys, my daughter used to play there with the school. They had coaching in the morning, and I used to talk to the guys there sometimes, and said half the reason they do it is because now they have to make ends meet. So it's like they have no choice. You got to sell Wankhede Stadium, the pride of Mumbai's cricket and all that. I mean, you've got the most ridiculous weddings in season that go on there, and then the pitch is like a rugby wicket after that. But but anyway, coming back to that, do you think there's any hope for our Indian football in the sense that we do have the Chetris now coming through in some sort of star quality, but will we ever play a World Cup?
It's going to take time, man. I mean, it's not something, as they try to advertise, it's not going to happen in 4 years. So that's never going to happen. I think it'll take, I don't know. I hope in our lifetime we can see such things. But the World Cup guys are helping us. They're expanding the World Cup from 32 to 48 teams.
Why are you laughing? That's so mean. That's so cynical. Are you serious? Oh, guys, that's horrible.
And in another development, the World Cup might happen once every 2 years instead of 4 years.
That won't. I read that, but that's never. You really think that's going to hold water? It'll kill it, yeah.
It won't happen that soon, but right now there's this international break, which is an interruption in the season, which all football fans hate. And one of the solutions that they have come up with is a bigger and a more frequent World Cup.
Or they can play the ISL.
Wait. Mukesh Bhai is paying money the other way around.
That's a bit odd because they normally, whatever they touch turns to gold. But wait, let's give them some more time. Okay, there's so much to talk about, guys, in football at the moment. I made some bad notes. First big thing for me is this Ronaldo. Again, for people who are not really into football, the big stars shine, from wherever they are. Is this just a rumor doing the rounds that he'll go back? Or is it credible?
I hope he goes back. I just hope he retires. I'm done with him. I'm so bored of Ronaldo and his tantrums.
You're just upset because you like Coke. And I mean the drink. You were not on the cruise party boat. Let's just point it out. Saru was not on the boat.
I was on my way to South Bombay.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. By ship. Okay. But so what's that story all about? With the hoopla coming to Man U, initially started with a big bang, made some goals, put bums on seats, not that they need more. And now suddenly what's happening? What's the reason?
Yeah, just when the Sardarjis came back to the stadium, United is back on its downward spiral. Poor guys, they said, maybe it's about time that United starts performing again. They bought their season tickets, Sing 1, Sing 2, Sing 3, Sing 4, Sing 5. And now it's just not working out for them.
Yash, that's an awkward moment for all of us. How do we handle it?
I don't know.
What is Baru trying to say to me? Is this an inside track which I'm not able to get?
So this is an inside. It's not an inside joke. It's when United were great and winning titles, there used to be this group of Sardarjis who used to sit right behind the dugout.
Right. Yeah. Right? Okay.
So once Ronaldo has come back, these Sardarjis have been spotted at Old Trafford again. And everyone was hoping that the old glory days are back, but unfortunately, all of that has not turned out to be true.
So what you're saying is that Sardar Brigade will stay, but he won't. No, I just want to know. I don't understand. Also with the Messi transfer, for example, okay, they have a ceiling or whatever. Just the man's crying, and then he's forced to go to PSG. This is the greatest footballer of his generation, and he's being slapped on the face, kicked in the bum, and sent to Paris where he can't speak a word of French. And he's crying his guts out. And I just found that, I mean, in cricket or in other sports, even in the NBA, I can't see that really happening. So can you just give us a little toss up about how these transfers happen and how important is the footballer's own personal, I mean, does he really have a say? It looks like sometimes they don't really seem to have a say.
Yeah, but in Messi's case, the club told him they don't have the money, right? So if they say we can't pay you, I guess he will cry, but there's really no other choice.
They actually said we don't have money because of you. We spent all the money on you, so we have no money left to give you. Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'm done with you guys. I've taken all your money. Let me just go somewhere else.
The euro is a little higher on the exchange rate. Yeah, fair enough. But
I think the only thing is that you have to like feel bad and cry in front of people to show that you actually care. So I guess that's what he did, and he then the next day he was off to Paris, joining his buddy Neymar and enjoying life. So.
It's like, I don't know if you guys remember a Hindi film called Ajuba, when you have 3-4 big stars together and how it didn't do well. They tried that in the 80s or late 80s actually. Shashi Kapoor, Amitabh Bachchan, etc. all put in one film, and it just colossal failure and lots of money. So you have Mbappe, you have Neymar, you have Messi, you have a couple of other big names, and suddenly you're thinking, that doesn't work in any sport. And I don't think it does. You need one or two standout guys, and you need a lot of journeymen. I think probably that's the best formula if one has to put it on paper.
Yeah, you need some donkeys always trying to do the hard work. So
Dunga.
all these
Does that mean donkey?
You need a lot of dungas in a team to make it work.
We had this discussion on a podcast. Then in Brazil, they have these nicknames, like Pele is the nickname, right? Edson Arantes de Nascimento. So, which is Black Pearl. And here, this one is Donkey. But these are like acceptable nicknames. Like, I mean, imagine in India, you call someone, it's literally like saying his name is Chutia. And the whole world on the news, Chutia scores again for India. You know what I mean? Although sometimes that would be lovely.
We see that enough in a cricket team. I think enough have been called Chutia.
Yeah, I mean, look at
Kohli, after this loss to Pakistan, if you just said Chutia, you've been nice. You haven't seen what's on the net or what, boys? I mean, that's horrible.
But speaking of nicknames, after Lagan, almost every cricket team had a kachra.
Why? And now the whole team is... Okay, we won't say that. Just one loss. Okay, since you're not giving an answer about Ronaldo, and I firstly, is it true? Well, I'm not... It seems speculation on the net at least.
No, absolutely not. It's just speculation. He has a 2-year contract, so it's not a very long contract. So he can just wait it out. He can just chill if he doesn't like the manager or the team. So yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Buy another, huge fortress bungalow bigger than Buckingham Palace to spend a year in.
He's going to become a father again. So he has a big army of kids to take care of.
So he's scoring off the pitch.
Yes, he's scoring off the pitch, and that too, he's going to have twins.
You think he charges his wife? Bro, ma'am, I get paid so much. Only makes sense. And he's a solo. He's known to play a little solo from time to time. So what the hell? Yeah, seems good. So I take it you guys aren't that enamored. You think these guys are overrated? Okay, that's a big word. You think they get too much hype, the two big ones?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is I think it just gone on for too long. If we had stopped hyping them.
But in tennis, you have no problem saying that, Djoko and Nadal and Federer.
I'm done. I was done with Federer and all of them 3 years ago. So I just can't stand the sight of the three of them now. I just hope they lose in the first round.
You're just a man filled with hatred. But Djokovic has won everything in sight. It's the first time he lost something this month. And I think Nadal and Federer's one injury issue, of course, age. But
apart from his immunity, that is. I mean, that's the other thing that he's lost. He never got it.
Brother, he fought for those guys, those Croatian referees and the guys from the Baltic countries. It was a very nice gesture. I'm a huge fan. Plus, he likes German shepherds. Please put things in perspective before you say anything bad about Djoko.
It was a joke.
No. Coming back to the big two. So that's a fair point that they probably overstayed their welcome. And I think in many sports that has happened. You remain, celebrated, but you're obviously not that kind of quality player you may have been 4 or 5 years ago. Of course, that's open to debate. But is that a comment on the fact that there are not enough big names out there to take on the glory, or just the hype around them is the way it is? And there are. You rate Mbappe or Neymar, etc., many young fellows across Europe and South America who don't get enough publicity, but are almost as good or as good.
No, personally, I feel that the game of football has changed. It's become more strategic, more team based. While these guys were younger, there was much more scope for individual glory and individual skill to come through. So, because over the last decade, you'll see the managers have become more important. Is talk about philosophy and things like that, which is the reason why we don't have another Ronaldo or Messi coming through. But these guys, because of their exceptional skill, their great fitness, and just celebrity factor, have
So are you
stayed.
saying that single player domination sort of thing is not going to happen that much post this generation?
I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so, because football that I used to watch as a kid.
What about
is
a
much
guy like Mbappe?
But if you ask Paris fans, they're quite upset with him because of the way he plays. And by this age, Messi had already won a Ballon d'Or, I think, and so which
And
he
because
has not.
Mbappe doesn't like baguettes or something.
Baru, what are you're here to irritate and insult all these lovely guys. Good.
That's Baru in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm really angry with that Ronaldo's anti-coke tirade. It's so unfair when you're a super rich guy and you can have this herbal fruit delivered to your doorstep. What does that Aam Aadmi guy got to do? He's thirsty, he's tired, on the streets of Rio de Janeiro. Labor class guy gets up, he gets a coke. Now, Ronaldo says, no, I won't have coke. Now he has to go and stand in line, earn more money to buy that herbal crap. Coke, I say. Do you guys need a sponsor for your show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coke. No herbal stuff will come to help you. Coke it is. Steven Gerrard as Aston Villa manager. What's your take on that?
Yeah,
My
it's
son's
all
a
right.
huge fan. I have the posters in the room, even though he's gone to Canada.
Oh, this may interest
Cried
you
when
and
he
your family.
retired. Sorry.
This may interest you and your family, Cyrus. His contract with Aston Villa ends at the same time Klopp's contract with Liverpool is ending.
Oh, that's 2.5 years was an odd thing.
Yeah.
It's given there, 2.5 years. So are you saying that it's a straight, well, I would make, but again, just because you're the homeboy doesn't mean that you'll be the best coach for the side, right? I mean, look at Klopp,
But
he's
who
German
cares
and
about
revived
such
Liverpool.
things? Who
Yeah.
cares about such things? Homeboy is homeboy. That's it.
You think?
Yeah, I think they had one of their worst spells when Douglas came back to Liverpool, right? But at the end of the day, you're still like the home king, like not even the homeboy. So it's fine. I mean, ultimately, that's the story, right? Gerrard has to go to Liverpool. Lampard has already done his Chelsea stint. That didn't work out. Arteta is still at Arsenal, even though he's not at the same level. But yeah, Vieira has his road set to Arsenal. Gerrard has his road set to Liverpool.
Who does Messi coach?
Messi
I mean, speak
coaches
French.
Nouvelle Old Boys.
Yeah, if that's his last stint, I'm just wondering, does he go back to Barcelona?
He'll coach out of contract crybabies from Barcelona somewhere.
You've taken it very badly.
Jamshedpur FC or something.
So I take it you were never his big fan, and then you feel it was a very unmanly thing.
No, come on. I
As
love
a footballer,
Messi.
you love him.
Yeah, I think he's the best footballer ever. So,
but he's a crybaby. You just want to point that out.
Definitely.
Best footballer ever? Did you say ever?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's open that up to the two boys next to you. Would that be a fair comment? I mean,
I
looking back
agree.
to
Messi is the best man. Ronaldo's a great athlete.
What about my crazy Maradona?
Naturally awesome.
Have you ever seen Maradona play?
No, we haven't.
I mean, going to Pele and Gareth, all these guys. Have you seen Maradona play? What the hell is wrong with you?
Messi has done everything that Maradona pulled off. I mean, except the World Cup.
But he doesn't the showmanship, yeah. And nobody felt like Maradona. Oh, he was one of the best actors in South America has ever seen. Coke. Herbal.
Coke.
Why did he do that? It was a necessity. It was so aggressive also the way he did it. I mean, they're pumping money into your freaking game and you're a millionaire because of people like that. That's really, I don't think that's right. Just because your father's Hitler, you can't, just say no. Okay, that's a horrible metaphor. Boys, please take over the show. Come on, give me some more stuff. Chelsea go all the way there, still at
that's
the top
what
of the
Maradona told his dealer, man.
Oh yeah, Chelsea is going to go all the way. They're going to win the Premier League. They're going to win the Champions League. They're just going to win everything. They are so good. And I hope Manchester United keep their coach. I hope Klopp finds new reasons to cry and he ends up a respectable second, because I love Klopp, and I hope something happens to Manchester City and they just get relegated. Yes, those are my wishes, Cyrus.
I would, if I was an NCB, I'd be looking at you guys. Okay, the tirades, the rants, I just feel they're fueled with something. It's a lot. And considering we're freaking Indians, we're like 3 generations away from all this shit, but still it's too close. Yeah, but I don't bear the fact. Go on.
That's the point, right? We don't take this thing seriously. We're like, chalo, okay, fine. This guy definitely is crying, means he's getting more money. So we know it because we are so far away.
And plus, I think the crying aspect of it has moved away from, forget the managers, even when you talk about transfers, the crying aspect has moved away from the players, from the clubs. It's gone completely to agents now. These super agents, they just walk into any club, they say, my player is worth 20, but you give me 45 million and I'll give it to you for 19 or something. That's how it's become right now. It's the agents, they're controlling everything. And now they've stepped into managers also. So
it sounds like this Jugaad sounds like Indians are running it now. I'm really worried. What's going on? Where did these numbers come from? So how much money now that you mentioned that, how much money do the footballers get from the contract? Actual money goes to them. We see these inflated contracts all the time. They throw it on the front page. It scares the hell out of everybody because the GDP is more than India's and Bangladesh put together. But how much do they get?
They get only the
no.
wages plus any performance-related bonuses and a joining bonus. But the entire money goes to the club for buying out the contract, so to speak. So it's the club that gets most of it. And the agents actually.
Exactly. So I'm just saying that's a little bit unfair when it gets headlines and you keep thinking, oh, this guy's got even more money coming out of his ears. But it's not exactly that. I mean, he's obviously doing well, but it goes through a lot of people.
हाँ सिर्फ 40 लाख मिल रहा है हफ्ते का और क्या है ज़्यादा नहीं.
How much do Indians get? How much does Sunil Shetty get? Who's like a high-speed Indian footballer?
A chai and 2 biscuits for lunch.
That's not cynicism. You're just being straightforward.
I'm being honest.
It's not a comment. Yeah, you're just being honest. It's like,
but in ISL, I think it's gone up to around 6 crores or something. So that's basically around what Yuvraj was probably getting 7 years back.
Yeah, he got 12.4 something, remember correctly, the year that he really flopped, unfortunately. But so 6 crores for our talent in the ISL.
Yes.
I think that's
for top talent. Yeah, I mean Indian. I think Chetri was getting around.
The
that
only
much.
person here I can trust is Yash, and he's not saying anything. He's the only person who seems to have his statistics in place. Baru and Saru was on something, and he's just venting away left, right, and center. It's almost like racism now. He just hates all of them. Yeah. Oh. Yes.
No, but embarrassingly, I don't know the ISL salaries. So, I mean,
See, the Coke boys know it.
Well, anyway, it's better than what it was, I suppose. So if you look at it from
Yeah.
perspective,
No, it is for sure. I mean,
there's
all
an
the money
improvement.
that
They're doing
the
better.
Ambanis and Star and IMG are pumping in and pumping out rather. So it's working pretty well. The franchisee thesis structure is all in place. So it's all trickling down to the players. So it's good for Indian football right now. Better than what it was before, obviously.
I'm just going back to the beginning of the things you guys were saying. Where do we stand FIFA ranking? I mean, and do we take that seriously firstly? And where do we stand? So with all this, is there an improvement? Are we closer to our goal of?
We take it seriously only when we're in double digits. Now we are not. So we ignore, these riff-raff rankings that come out every month or something. We can ignore that.
But why can't we beat Central Asian countries and countries like that from the qualifiers?
Forget Central Asian countries. We lost
Bangladesh,
to United States military outpost a couple of years back. I mean, Guam.
What does that mean?
Guam.
What are you saying? We lost to Guam.
Yeah, we lost Guam.
It's like 6 people.
Yeah, all 6 of them. Like they played twice in that match. So.
Oh.
And there was a cricket.
It's all about 6 at the moment.
Context,
6 people. We really lost to Guam. That's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Ouch. They had like 3 prisoners of war playing for them. So
yes. Maybe they really played out of their skin because the option was that waterboarding. Scored in the first 45 minutes. Okay, what about
they took a whole new meaning to penalty shootouts. So
they removed the penalty. Well, it is a penalty and it is a shootout. So yeah, it is. Paul Pogba's replacement is Danny Olmo apparently for Man U. Is that going to make a difference? Man U's fluctuating fortunes with the unpronounceable manager. Why do they get people with simple names?
No, he's just called Ole.
Ole, Ole.
What do you need simpler than Ole, Cyrus? Like,
the Skosgard always scares me. I get very scared with Scandinavian names. I know the Y's, J's, Y, P's, K. I don't understand why they challenge you like that. Why can't you just keep it phonetics? It's like, we have our own problems. Ritik, for example, has an H there. It's not Haritik. He explained it to me. It's not Harishikesh either.
In his name and loud digits.
Go ahead, abuse Bollywood. I'll sit back for 5 minutes. Go ahead. Why take it out on bloody European footballers? What have they done to us anyway? Just because they spill the coke here and there. Let's talk about Man U for a second. This I get from when my son's friends come over, and also everybody's a Man U fan, and only he's Liverpool and a couple of Chelsea and maybe one Man City. But it's Man U. I don't think that's changed from my generation. It's remained Man U in spite of the fact the fortunes of Man U have gone down. What is it about bloody Man U that everybody seems to like them? Or really hate them like us?
Well, for me, it was David Beckham. That was the gateway drug to Manchester United because he was so handsome, so
We are not questioning your sexuality,
wonderful.
but carry on.
It doesn't matter. You don't need to be of any sexuality to appreciate David Beckham.
Would you say underrated player in terms of by the football pundits, in terms of set piece king
Yes,
and
he
things
is,
like that?
because
As a footballer, because all that other shit came out and he became like a
yeah,
celebrity.
so because of his other shit, he has people have forgotten how good a footballer he actually was. Like how good his corners, his deliveries, and generally he was a workhorse. But his out of the pitch persona has people remembering him as a pretty boy rather than the really talented footballer that he was.
I think Baru has the same problem on the podcast. Nobody can see him for what he is because he's worshipping his sexual appeal all the time. So, Yash, I take it you're a Man U fan, is it?
Yes, I am.
So, what would you do now at the point we are, mid-season almost? Or where are we? What is the month? November, yeah.
November.
What would
Yeah.
you do now?
What would I do
Would
now?
you remove ole, bye-bye?
No, so because there are not too many other managers available who are of the quality to come and replace and do anything. And
The point being, should he be
This is like
replaced?
Indian politics all over again.
sorry,
You have only his point is we have only so much to choose from. This
If
is a
not
very
only, then
cynical.
who?
You've got two partners. One is Mr. Cynic. One is Mr. Angry Young Man. Okay, so you have to understand. You're the only guy I can talk to. Please talk to me, for God's sake.
yeah. So I mean, Manchester United fans really, really hate our owners because they've really mismanaged it. And so if you remember, in the early 2000s, the two clubs that were very popular were Arsenal and Manchester United. And they are great examples of how first mover advantage does not work in a business, because they got taken over by these two American owners who are milking them for all the money that fans like us put into it, whether it's through viewership or
Merchandise.
the shit that we buy. And when it became popular all over the world, these dodgy Russian owners and Middle Eastern countries took over these tiny little clubs like Chelsea and Man City and bought all the good players, and they're whooping their ass right now.
Football twaddle is honestly football racism. I'm so scared. Not a kind word has come out of your mouths, any of you. Now you're going out of the Russian owners, albeit mafia linked and all that.
He's
We
such
can
a
never go to
good
North
guy,
Goa again
Cyrus.
now, I guess. Never just going to
Sorry.
North Goa now. I said we can't go to
You cannot
North
go-
Goa anymore.
You can't. North Goa and South Goa is Israeli, so you got to be careful. Yeah.
Wait, the Chelsea owner is Israeli Russian. So we can't just.
Roman
Monica भी
Abramovich.
निकल गया अब तो.
Yeah, so
Is Israeli
Abramovich.
Russian Jewish, you
Abramovich,
mean? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
no. So he has
No.
Israeli citizenship as well right now because he was not
When you've got
allowed
that
back.
kind of money, everybody gives you citizenship. He'd be king of Lucknow in 5 minutes if he came here. What are you worried about?
He was not allowed back in England. So what he thought was, let me just get Israeli citizenship. Then they'll give me a visa for an Israeli citizen. Somehow the British caught that. So he's still not being allowed back in England.
All he has to do is become prime minister. Apparently, boom, everything changes. Yeah. Don't pass the ball back. Just let it go outside. So let's quickly. So you're Man U. Let's look at EPL for a second. Saru, I take it you're not Man U.
No, I
And
am
you
Chelsea.
support? You're
I
Chelsea.
support Chelsea and now Newcastle United because if we have to support the richest guys, just support Newcastle. So yes, as of 23rd October, I am a Newcastle fan.
And even though they may not win anything, it's a lovely place if you've ever been. Newcastle.
I
So,
have not been, but the
It's-
fans on the YouTube say it's very good. So
They have
that's
like,
good enough. Fans on
the only
YouTube
thing-
define everything. You don't need anything else. Yeah.
No, from what
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
but-
and heard from my cousins over there, it's like the only thing about Newcastle is Newcastle United FC. That's it. There's nothing else in that city, and that's why a lot of players might not come there. It's on the border with Scotland, and there's really bad weather.
very north,
and,
yeah.
Matlab, if the Middle Eastern guys are going to attract players, they'll probably have to create a commune 4 hours to the south or something.
You
so that
finished the
people can-
Goras. Now you're going after the Asians. Go on. This is a show for that. In a way, you're very secular. Screw them all, I say. They all suck. Screw them all. Race after race, nationality after nationality.
best form
Whoever's
of
bought your
secularism,
clubs.
right?
You want some guy who owns a fish and chip shop to run more Chelsea. And what do you want
From
them to do? They
Birmingham.
have to in this global world. Yeah, for God's sake. Emirates Stadium. Get used to it, bro. Emirates Stadium. They're all going to change. Etihad Stadium, Emirates Stadium. Soon it will be
Saudia
Jet
Stadium.
I'm hoping you'll go towards Hindustan for a second. We've got a few renamings happening in the cricket state.
They're making a return with.
I think you're
club
offside,
purchase.
Baru. Frankly, I think you're offside on that. Just have to check the VR right now in a second. Speaking of VR, I think
Cyrus has
let's
a
take a
huge
quick.
list of like football puns. He just can't wait to use now.
This is the only time I can because Silvery and Amit, who I talk to otherwise, don't care about sport. Well, the football and cricket. So I can't get anything out of them. This is the only time I can. So let me have a little fun, but don't be mean. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. Shall we invite Silvery on? He hates the game. It'll be good to talk to someone like that. You probably in a cynical way will say so do most of the owners. So let's get Silvery. Please come on.
Hello. I love football. I just don't watch it. I'm
just taking a sip of my delicious Slay coffee that I had just delivered to me. It's the perfect drink to wake you the hell up every single morning. I mean, by drinking it, not throwing it at the panelists who have come here and abused everybody in football for some reason. Don't do that. Be careful. I think it's our Indian side. We're just very critical. We don't let anybody go. Slay Coffee has some incredibly delicious options of beverages like caramel twist latte or their long black Java. Boys, have you had the long black Java?
I think Baru.
Baru, take your time. If you've had it, this is a good time to tell us how much you enjoyed it.
Wakes you up like nothing else.
There you go. I suppose the more description would be not apt. It's also their version of the Americano, if you want to know, and tons more options are there as well. My personal favorite is their Madras Mud Filter Coffee. That's right, Madras Mud. It's a lip-smacking, freshly brewed, intensely flavorful and bold coffee concentrate. A unique blend of Arabica and Robusta beans. So you guys have insulted certain parts of the world. So Arabica and Robusta, I think one is South American, one is Arabia. So just to mention, sourced from the high altitude estates of Chikmagalur. So much for that. The coffee capital of India. I love it, especially for its full-bodied choco caramel notes and taste and sweet residual aftertaste. It's wow. Slay Coffee, still slaying it. Use code MySlay to get 50% off on Zomato for your next Slay Coffee. That's the code MySlay on Zomato. So India's best rated coffee today on Swiggy and Zomato. Order now. I'll give you all 10 seconds, guys. Just with your phone, place the order. What the hell is he drinking? Well, Saru is actually doing it, but his bloody Baru doesn't cooperate with anything. He's the rebel without a cause.
I was having some other coffee, Baru. I just threw it away. Now I'm ordering Slay coffee. Can you just get on with it?
Alexa, add Slay coffee to my shopping list.
2 out 2 have passed the test. Yash, the tension mounts. Kya karega Yash?
I'm done.
What?
No Slay coffee for you? Should we send you some?
No, man. I've already had my coffee. So.
You've had your coffee. You do realize you're saying all the right things for the sponsor to stay on the show.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Yash. Really. His name is Yash, but he never says Yash to us. All right. That pun is okay. Every time I make my sweet football puns, you get a bee in your bonnet. Silvery,
Yep.
as a non-football lover, is there anything you want to ask the 3 experts that we have on the show today?
All I know right now, there are a lot of managers who are getting sacked this season. Right? I think about 6 or 7 managers have gotten sacked.
But that happens. We are in November. You will see 6-7 managers get sacked. It's like a yearly ritual which everyone has to go through. So what happens is in August, everyone says we love the manager. We're so looking forward to the team playing well and everything. and then in September, they're like, we are going through some initial hiccups, but things will get well. In October, it's of serious concern, and November, 6 of them are gone. Right? So it happens every year. So
you know how the Christmas carol goes, right? On the first day of Christmas, the seventh manager got sacked.
Excellent. But Silvery, just to tell you, it's happening in cricket and other sports as well now, because almost like the people have no patience. So captains change, now coaches will change mid-season transfers. Football is famous for, but I think all the other sports are going to suffer from that. I personally feel that's a little stupid because you don't give anybody a proper window. But it's like the results. Obviously, these teams have no chance at this point mathematically, almost no chance. So then they've decided to take why wait for the end of the season?
Yeah, no window, just the door.
Yeah. So, but exactly. Why don't they wait for the season to get over and then fire between the seasons?
It's the money.
No,
I mean,
honestly,
but you pay out the coach. So you wasted money. You pay out the coach when you sack him early.
Yeah.
So what's the point of that anyway? And then you're paying another guy. I mean, it doesn't make any business sense. But I
So,
suppose
no,
they do it because, go on.
In the month of January, you can make transfers. There's a small there's a window where you can buy new players. So they generally sack the manager around November so that the new manager comes in. And if he wants a new player to change the team around, they can buy him in January or them in January if it's multiple players.
Meantime, the assistant manager has to do all the donkey's work and get no credit.
Yeah.
No, but
Plus, I think it's also about how, when you get a new manager in the mid-season, you're giving him that trial period also to set up his thing, to, get in place. So that at the start of the next season, he's ready to go. It's not like when you get him at the start of the next season, again, you'll give him his teething period, फिर से गाली खाएगा, and by November, as you know, he's out again.
You think one of the 6 sack managers, if they can't find work, why can't we get them for the Indian team? I mean, I know we always have foreign coaches as well, but the guys who are right in the middle.
One of the worst coaches for the Indian team right now. The guy, he messes up with the senior team. He gets a draw and he says it was well played, boys. Then he has the audacity to go to the under-23 team, who are actually having a good run, and changes their style of play to match his own and make them get a draw. Everyone wants him out right now. I mean, I think more than Ole out, everyone's gone like Igor out.
So why can't we get Ole in here?
We should, I think.
yeah.
But we don't have enough Ole teammates from the past who will support him over here, like we have in England right now. So, yeah.
Wow. Your anger runs deep, my brother.
Yeah.
Really.
Ole is going to slate here.
But we are really excited about this.
Once let the Man U boys speak. Baru, by the way, what's your EPL team? You didn't mention that. You got one Man U, you got one Chelsea.
Arsenal. But I'm completely into ISL now. I'm a Mumbai City FC.
Plus, you have cousins in Newcastle. That's important.
You need to sign, otherwise you can't do it.
Yash, what do you say? You were saying
So
something?
we are really excited about this round of managerial changes because, as you mentioned, Steven Gerrard has been appointed at Aston Villa, and Frank Lampard, his England buddy, is at Norwich. So this is something similar to if you're a 90s cricket fan, and if Tendulkar and Lara were appointed as two managers or two ISL team, this is like that. These are two big superstars.
Lampard's had a run and not had a great record, hasn't he, as a manager?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
but it doesn't matter. He's a superstar.
I know he's a legend. That's fine.
Yeah.
But after some time, doesn't their performance as coaches or managers also count as separate from the fact that they were legends? And you got to see that. I mean,
No,
someone like a Klopp
he was first appointed at Chelsea. Maybe that was a step too far for him. Norwich is a very manageable team, and the expectations.
Why? Because
of
the
fans
expectations are low. Okay.
So he's like going like 2 levels below to prove himself again, right?
So the closest analogy to all this is Navjot Singh Sidhu, who travels to different parties, doesn't raise the bar, and then goes to the next party. So I can see where you're going.
But he uses the same speech everywhere, right? Have you seen that YouTube clip?
Which is
he has this one idiom which he says like he just changes the name at the end.
Yes,
I don't remember what it was, but
no, I remember he's had some. I thought he was really fantastic with the Kahawats, and then I did a few shows.
But he has a limited set, right? So वही सब जगह.
No, let me. I'll tell you the truth. So he's got a book. So we did these shows of teachers where he was like the anchor and he would perform and tell his stories. It was very good speaker, no doubt, and lovely. If you're a cricket nut, not great stories. But he had a book of quotes.
Yeah,
I thought, he just picked it up along the way, and then he's so good, it's like a Shakespeare or a Premchand at work, and you watch him and all. But it's like he's gotten. So I think he then has to put the 4 idioms in his head into the performance of the match that day, which doesn't always work, when he's saying the bowler is feeling the pressure like a midget in the urinal. Yeah. No, that Chante Fati is a go-to when you don't have anything to say. It's the safest option.
He just says the entire thing, and your co-commentators get another 10 seconds to think कि आगे क्या बोलना है, क्योंकि 10 सेकंड तक तो नवजोत बोलते रहेगा कुछ ना कुछ तो.
I think पहले 2 बार, पहले 3 बार they all clapped and enjoyed. But let's say 155 बार, they all every the camera will go close and the co-commentators going, oh shit, here we go again.
Wait, so while we're talking about cricket, Cyrus, Yash, and I heard your episode or podcast with Farooq Engineer. That was fantastic for anyone who loves Mumbai cricket and all of it. That was such a good show, man.
I just couldn't get over the fact that he wanted to talk about Viagra. I mean, I was like, we grew up worshipping these guys. The generation, so long ago, they didn't have all the fanfare of today's cricketers, etc. Really, and Indians struggling against those Europeans. There's all these complexes and all. We still, managed to do something. And then this guy, he takes off about his sexual prowess, very sweetly, of course. But this, the whole visual was in my head, and from him square cutting Bob Willis or something, it went into a God knows what. Yeah, but hey. I guess we're all men at the end of the day. Now that we discuss cricket for a second before we allow the AMAs to start, we've got the final New Zealand Australia. By the way, I called it. What's your take? Who do you think is going to?
I think New Zealand is going to win. Yeah, I mean more like it's an emotional thing. You want New Zealand to win, and you somehow
because
don't
of
want
2019, or just because they're nice guys. Or are you going to abuse New Zealand? It's just one country you've not done anything about.
I love New Zealand, Cyrus. I think all managers and players should come from New Zealand.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a football tradition as well in the Olympics and stuff. They've done decently, but just not a game because of rugby's dominance and to some extent cricket after that. Football just never come up in New Zealand.
Before we praise them too much, do you know what their football team is called?
The All Blacks would be a black version, black caps, black shorts, black birds.
They're called All Whites.
All Whites?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
They just brought
back. Now.
Do they take a knee or do they take both knees before the match? That's the question. No, I'm still a little worried about Pakistan's hand on heart. I didn't get that. They decided Aussies are kneeling and then these guys are hand on heart. It looks like a bad play going on. Suddenly, and college level play, just some sort of communication in old cultures we are not able to pick up. Yeah.
But this whole kneeling thing, I think it was just thrust upon these cricketers all of a sudden. There was international cricket for 2 years. What they didn't think racism was there then. Like they took 2 years to figure out that they need to kneel. Like what is going on? Why suddenly put it in the spotlight?
It started with the West Indies tour of England last year between the two pandemics, and which is the West Indies team representing the black might and all that. So it's got it's a sort of, you can accept that. When it starts going to these different cultures, you can see they have no idea. When the tournament started with Rohit Sharma asking Babar Azam, what should we do? I saw that. We lost the match because of that. Rohit was like, couldn't concentrate on that. Main kya karu? And Babar Azam said, kiske baare mein? I mean, they have no clue. So finally, this guy takes a knee. Then KL Rahul is, he's about to take a stance and he realizes he takes a knee. I mean, it became like a cartoon show, yeah. And then Babar Azam said, okay, I'm holding my heart. Well, I have not understood this whole movement. In between the Punjabi plays he's been watching on the flight over there.
Yeah.
So it's become a mockery of the whole thing, sadly. But I think
Cyrus, the number of times at the kickoff where the guy kicking the ball off forgets and he kicks the ball and everyone is kneeling has happened way too many times.
Yeah,
way too many times.
But you guys, your sport is the one which has the real racism issues. Let's face it. I mean, till today, monkey chants and all that crap that goes on when any black player is playing in so many European countries. You can't even say it's only Belgium, it's only Holland, throwing bananas. All I mean, there's no end to it. So actually, cricket is not so bad. Comparatively, I would say even rugby is not so bad. It's only football. Why is it that we have all the races? Wait a minute, look at you three. You've sat here throughout the show pontificating about the evils of the owners, the players, the superstars, the ISL. You didn't let anyone go. You went in the Middle East killing people. That's the last thing you did. Before
we are secular non-racists. We just hate everyone.
Yeah, the reverse of the principle is always welcome and fair enough. Yeah, but there's something to say about as far as spectators go. I think we've discussed this on other podcasts. Football does seem to have the worst. What do you call them? Yobs or whatever, and it's across the world. I wouldn't even say you can signal 1 or 2 countries anymore. What do you have to say about that to defend this glorious gentleman's game? A beautiful game.
Look, it's not. I mean, I guess it just goes with the territory of being the most popular sport in the world. So you just have more people, and then it probably reflects.
It's a bigger sample size.
Yeah,
and we actually got a taste of that when the Muhammad Shami Twitter crap and all started doing rounds the moment we lost to Pakistan, where in India our version of racism, communalism, casteism all comes out also. So I think it's also people's frustration, but they can't help themselves and they start becoming more malicious than they need to be. Out of a sense, I'm not supporting anyone for doing that. I'm just trying to think about why people get into that space, when their favorite team is, because generally the supporters also do it, which is just ridiculous. Not just the opposing supporters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a.
Baru's going to sleep with this, Saru.
Yeah,
he's crying.
I'm very upset about all the comments that were coming in. So apparently they arrested the troll who went after Virat Kohli's daughter or something.
No? I mean, look at that, bro. That's just
He's
ridiculous.
insane now. He was going to leave for US for some university masters in engineering or something 2 days later, maybe. And they
Hyderabad, I think. Hyderabad
from
location,
IT,
where
Hyderabad,
my mother-in-law is. Very close to her, apparently. But I don't want to give names and point fingers, and also I just let it be. Yeah.
Close to her.
So this guy's. Stop it. That's my wife is right here. You look at my mother-in-law's power. He's frozen the moment he tried to make fun of her. Watch it, boy. You don't mention it. Don't you bother. Telangana, we have more control there than you'll ever know, Baru. I'll take care of you like this, Baru. You don't know in Telugu, my name is a famous love song in Telugu, by the way. Check it out. Do your research. This is true. I'm not lying. Telugu Paloman keeps singing this song to me every day for some reason. All right.
Did you guys watch Ted Lasso, the TV show?
Yes. Oh, that was such a fun show. I mean, in spite of all this lockdowns and everything, I think Ted Lasso was such a cute show, man, more than anything. Well done to the entire team for just like trying to give some happiness to people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a good introduction to football for people who don't watch football, because
it's meant for Americans also, right? It's an American coming to the UK. Yeah, correct.
Exactly. So Ted Lasso himself knows so little about football that as he's learning, the viewer is learning about football and about English football and the nuances and things like that.
Yes, I thought you would go in with that one and say, Ted Lasso knows as little about football as Ole. I thought you were just waiting for that. I mean, it is the Man United dirision by the self-supporters and the same spectators and supporters of the. I mean, nobody beats that. But when it's funny, it's great. I suppose when it just goes into this ridiculously insulting stuff of women, children, and all that nonsense, which people like Silvery are putting out on the internet. And Silvery, please stop it now. Whenever you feel upset. Baru is rejoining us. Baru, Priyan Gada says, Baru, Airtel.
It's not about Airtel. My phone died. It went into like battery saving mode because it was on 5% battery.
So you prepared for this podcast by making sure your phone was on 9% when you started. That's how little respect you give the podcast. I really appreciate that.
It's actually 90. I left it on charging all night and stuff.
From 90, it's gone to 8.
Yeah. I mean,
wait, that's because he just abused Telangana, Cyrus. It's the Telangana curse.
Yes, it's the Telangana curse, I feel. Also, he's watching porn while the show is going on. What's going on? Reason why it's draining so fast, man. Yeah, I didn't say you're performing. I said you're watching, bro. 90 minutes in a football match. You can score on the 90th and still win, nah? Relax.
Some long Java.
Yeah. Hey, you leave my sponsor alone, all right? Have you got a sponsor? Leave my sponsor alone, please.
Yeah, I'm saying good things about it.
You're saying good things. All things are good at the moment. No, not a problem.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On a show about crypto, Rohan asked the question, what is the metaverse? To Harsh Rajat, creator of EPNS, that's the Ethereum Push Notification Service, and what the term means. There was a fun episode of Cyrus Says Cock and Bull that we did last week. We discussed a whole bunch of different things on it. As always, we discussed the India-New Zealand match and the reactions to it, and elephants in Africa being born tuskless. On Audio Gyan, Kedar introduces us to filmmaker Ashish Avikuntak and his artistic film, etc. On The Longest Constitution, Priya takes a look at Gandhi, same-sex love, and why a few of our laws need to be changed to accommodate the LGBTQIA community. And on The Wire Talk, Siddharth speaks to Ayaz Memon, the sports writer, journalist, lawyer, regular on Khel Niti, former host of one of our shows, The Cricketwala Chronicles, and so much more. They talk about his new book, Indian Innings, The Journey of Indian Cricket Since 1947. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week: Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quarter, CoinSwitch, Kuber, Slate Coffee, Intel, Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Oxfam India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
All right, I think let's get into the AMAs.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sure there's lots of real football questions. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of questions. The first one comes from Prithvi, who has said, this is a question for Saru and Baru. Any thoughts on doing the 5-star ad? I don't get the reference though.
Ramesh Suresh, idiot. Ramesh Suresh.
Oh,
It's
Ramesh
based
Based on our
Suresh.
life experiences.
Oh, Sarvagna. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. The next one comes in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
the thing is, Ramesh Suresh,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beauty is Dumb and Dumber. They're really stupid. I love that ad, by the way. These guys are not stupid. They're cynical. It's another form. They're just like almost mean after some time about their
Yeah.
own game. I'm saying. I'm sure they're not mean people in the world, but
So,
for
Cyrus,
some
you
reason.
haven't seen the online football culture. We have actually very nice boys compared to the fan created content in football.
No, there's an English trio that my son watches. Don't ask me the names, and they do a lot of this banter. And they're making fun all the time and laughing throughout their own conversations. But I didn't think that was like everybody. I thought that was just the three silly guys, debating football like they're in a bar or something, and none of them have played it at any level. So it was just three guys having fun. But it's very popular. Don't ask me names. Podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't plug
go
other
on.
podcasts here.
But you don't even know the name. And besides, they're
I
off
think
a
it's called
race that you
Football
don't know.
Twaddle. The minute you said,
Three.
guys sitting around with a drink and just talking about football.
I was about to say different race, but let it be. We're all God's children. Isme kya hai?
Cyrus
Why
is
should
one
we
of us
bring?
now.
Yeah, why should we bring race up? After all that racism, we want to only watch the white people talk about the football. Silver man.
Okay. Yeah. Talking about mean football fans, Srinath Prakash has asked question for Baru: why does Arsenal exist?
I think it's inertia now. I mean, we had good momentum at the start. Now we're just going on for the fun of it. We're just there for the ride now.
But these
Arsenal exists so that fans of other teams can have fun with them.
can get at least 2 points. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but Baru, it's a cycle, isn't it? I mean, the Man City seem to have the last 10 years a great cycle. Liverpool's had a decent cycle for 4 or 5 years. Man U had long ago, Yash, but they come back.
Man, you haven't.
Yeah, for some time. But isn't that the way it works in football? Would that be fair to say? Or you really think an Arsenal would never come back ever and for 40 years disappear from the game? It's not going to be like that.
I think in football, the cycle is slightly less pronounced as much as it would be in probably basketball or something. But yeah, I think the money has made it very more cyclical than it was before. That's for sure. Otherwise, Liverpool had like 10, 20 years in a row, and that's just how it was. Now
but
it just
coming
follows
back,
the money.
so what are you trying to say? So Arsenal, what will happen? What's your prediction for 3-4 years from now?
We are
If
just
not 1
waiting
or
for
2
our
years from
sugar
now.
daddy to come in now. That's football.
I
Our
think
sugar daddy with his cup of coffee, Java.
But you can buy the best players in the world and still not have PSG is not the best team in the world. They've got 4 or 5 big names.
Yeah, but you still need the
But
players,
one of
right?
their big names hasn't played till now. So I think Ramos is just chilling over there. Even the club is figuring out how do they actually cancel his contract before he starts. But I think it'll come around. I think this season they're definitely going to win the league.
What you're saying is scary because if you're saying that all it takes is money, buy the best players and that's it. I don't think it works. That's the beauty of the game, isn't it? That it's not that.
No,
But Cyrus, I think that's why Newcastle fans are this happy, right? I mean, you can see them wearing Saudi headgear in stadiums in the colors. I mean, okay, the colors are Pele say black and white.
Stop it.
But
Stop it. You're on a good wicket. Stop before it goes to politically incorrect place where none of us can help and you take the whole team down with you, bro. I'm very careful here. All right, Sylvie, next one.
Right. Next one comes in from Sick Trick. This is regarding the World Cup thing. He has an idea. He says they should have a second division World Cup for us. What do you guys think?
yeah, we won't qualify for that either.
117. FIFA ranking is 117 or some ridiculous number like that. So, God, if that's to be believed, then you're at the rate of 32, even 48 teams. Yeah, it's not happening.
Dude,
but
but
under
wait,
17 World Cup they played here. We had a chance. We almost did okay.
We did decent.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens as we go older? We get worse.
That probably is true because
that
we
is
just
But that's the cheat code, right? Just bid for a World Cup. You get to play in it.
What is true of
That's what
politics
we
is true of football.
That's what we have done.
Like Commonwealth Games.
That's what we have done for the women's under 20 World Cup now. I think it's going to happen later, early next year. So, I mean, we are playing on the international stage, so that's good for us. Indian women's team is actually playing a Four Nations tournament, I think, later this month against Brazil and 2 other countries. So that's going to be pretty legendary.
So I take it Brazil ladies are top of the line
Pretty good.
for sure.
Yeah, top 2, top 3. Yeah.
And India is what again same as the men?
No,
in the
I mean
triple figure.
India's around 40s, I think, rank 40 or something.
That's not too bad.
Don't
But
ask
also
why,
it's a
Cyrus.
smaller playing field, yeah. As in, ranking field.
Okay, so there are only 60 teams. We have 40, and in FIFA we are like
Something
150
on
teams,
those
and we're
lines.
120. Okay,
Yeah.
Something on
fair
those
enough.
lines. But I
They
think
never give you good
India,
news. Silver never
Indian
call them
women,
again. There's only bad news and more bad news and more bad news. There's no good news. They
good
never
news
give
is
you good
that
news.
Indian women
Coffee was the good news.
actually played
Huh?
in the Premier League for women before a guy did. So Aditi Chauhan was playing for, I think, West Ham. If I'm
West
not wrong.
Ham. She was
Wow.
playing for
Who's the West
Ham.
Ham? They beat Liverpool. My son didn't speak to us for 2 days. Never mentioned that name on this program. Who the hell is this West Ham? Something you eat? No. Don't waste
No,
time. It's okay with these puns. I don't get it. Sylvie, what's next?
Breakfast puns are fine.
Next one comes in from Harvesh Kasad. He says, although the focus is on Messi to deliver CL for
Did you say
PSG.
fuck us? You said fuck us,
No,
didn't you?
Did I say?
The boys have rattled you. Okay, fair
Focus.
enough.
All right. Although the
Focus the
focus
man.
is on Messi to deliver CL for PSG, I think Ramos and Donnarumma would be the most important players and will play an integral part if PSG has to win CL. Thoughts?
You just said Ramos is
Yeah.
not on the in the 11.
Yeah, Ramos is being cancelled. Like his
Yeah.
contract is being cancelled. So
Yeah, but it doesn't
definitely
really
not.
matter. PSG is being managed by a guy called Mauricio Pochettino, so that negates anything good they ever do with buying players. And Pochettino has come out, I think yesterday, said that the French league, which is famously known as the Farmers League, is way tougher than the Premier League. So there's really no hope in hell for that team. So
Farmers League, Indian government to note. The farmers have their own league in bloody France. यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं.
Pradhan Mantri French Farmers Yojana or something coming right in.
But Baru and Saru, you signed that citation. I'm just mentioning it. I'm not part of it. Yash and I are off the hook on this
we're
one.
just introducing three farm laws. That's all.
Offside allowed, huh? In this case, please, for more colorful football. Yeah.
Yeah, but to answer that question, I mean, CL is always a lottery once you reach the quarterfinal stage, but they're being managed by Poch, so it is a hindrance more than anything. So yes.
Do you feel Champions League is actually the best tournament in terms of quality football? If you look at World Cups and Euro Cup and Copa Americana, all these things put together, would you say CL is like where you see the actual best of the best?
It is, but World Cups are just like too emotional and too much fun. So yeah. But and in CL you get in Champions League because of all the money concentration, you get the same matchups almost every year. So there's the novelty factor is kind of gone. But man, I think World Cups are just they're of a different level.
When will we see PSV Eindhoven play Mohun Bagan in the CL finals?
I hope we go.
Mohun Bagan need to relocate, or Europe
Yeah,
needs
to
to
Europe.
annex India.
To a tax haven. Mohun Bagan has to just play from there.
But
They'll
this
become
actually
Malta
works out.
Bagan.
I'm
Well,
not
according
sure
to
how they
you,
do it.
bloody geniuses, you just need a multi-billionaire to buy them. We just need some guy from Russia with mafia links to pick up the team, right? After that, it's all simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a geography concept to it also, no, Cyrus. I mean, the whole I think I don't know how it works, but some of these border countries between Asia and Europe, like Kazakhstan and I think Azerbaijan, maybe they get to play. I mean, somehow they are a part of the European Football Association, so that's why they play for. Their clubs are allowed into the Champions League and all. Probably India could do something with their expat
We
quota.
have this Google on the ultimate thesis on Kazakhstan is that Sacha Baron Cohen film, right? We just check and tell you what the political ramifications are of the country vis-a-vis Europe or Asia. Not an issue. Sylvie, let's get at least two more if we can.
Yeah, Vinay Joshi has asked, have we seen the last of Paul Pogba?
I was trying to ask them, but they're just so mean.
No, he's not going. He's not going to die. So obviously, you've not seen the last of him.
Don't say that.
Yeah, it's just a hamstring, yeah. Jesus.
It's
You don't
just
need
an
Jesus to
injury.
resurrect him.
Yeah, I know. Just a hamstring. Now he's meeting Jesus. Is what you're trying to say. Oof, that's horrible. Yeah.
No, yeah, but maybe we've seen the last of him at Manchester United. We don't know what happens in
No,
that guy's
man. I
side.
mean, we addressed this in our last pod that there are enough games in the season. Paul Pogba will definitely play for United again this season, and then he'll go for free.
Yeah, so we've not seen last of him in the red uniform as well. So yeah,
But I think, is he insinuating that he's sort of finished on the decline?
I think football is just too easy for Pogba. That's the problem with him. Like
Yeah,
he is so
haircuts,
he's so
that's
good.
difficult.
Yeah, he's so good at football that he gets distracted like every 5 minutes, and that's where the problem lies. Otherwise, I think Pogba is quite a genius footballer. So
Sorry, beautiful point, sorry, you come up because Silvery was like that with girls. Silvery, tell us about that growing up, no? It's
Yeah,
just too
yeah.
easy for you, right?
I mean, it
School-
still is, man. It just can't help it. Can't be helped.
And now you found
Yes,
football.
Kasar. You'll fuck his question.
Silvery, Arviz
yes.
Kasar, he will puck his
Always Kasar.
questions. He will puck his questions every
He'll
day.
pick his questions every day.
Are you sure that's what it means? Because it could be another. You can
This guy's
relate to another
typing.
exchange of alphabets if you want. And
Yeah, it
GP
could be.
needs.
Yes.
GP
we've had a
needs
kind of
some
show
coffee.
with a lot of derision,
Yeah.
and sort of sardonic wit and all that. So I'm saying we can just go with that. Why
Yeah.
change a good thing? Okay.
We have a cricket-related question. Ruben David has asked: Was the backlash against Hassan Ali yesterday different from the backlash against Shami when India lost?
Well, I'm not sure, but he had a horrible game. I don't know
For
if
sure.
our boys saw the game, but also in the field, in the outfield, dropping important catches. We missed one. We went very iconic moment in the match when we went for four. Simple fielding. In cricket, I think that the whole thing is the pressure because it's a stop-start game. In football, I think the same pressure is only there when you have the set piece, when you have the penalty happening and you stop and you think. I think those moments are horrible because you don't go on adrenaline so much. You suddenly, you have to stop and restart. It's a bit of a problem sometimes. So the pressure really gets to the fielding team, it seems, towards the end in these tight T20 matches. In footy, I would think that would not be such a big issue because they're just, running up and down the pitch without stopping
yeah, but
for the most
I
part.
mean, from whatever I saw, didn't Hassan Ali just have a really bad game? So what is the backlash that he's a bad cricketer? So I don't know.
No, the backlash he's talking about
on Twitter and
very
all, they're
personal
abusing.
comments. Abusing. Like we've
Yeah,
had
but at least
our
they're
boys
playing.
have got.
They're abusing
I
his
thi-
playing ability, right? Not his identity or something.
No, they are as well.
They are. They're abusing him personally. It may not be on communal grounds, but there are many ways. Like if Silvery calls me a penguin from time to time and things like that, that's abusive to penguins. So Silvery, watch your mouth.
Yeah, and
Wait.
Cyrus calls me good with women. That's also abusive. I'm
What?
not.
That's reverse derision. I know it's horrible.
I know.
We've got to stop this intellectual banter that we do all the time. But coming back to these, we again discussed this before. The fact that the internet has caused all this trouble, football lovers, sports lovers across the world would vent, right? But it would end in 5 minutes because Raju will be telling Ramu and nobody else has to know. But now Raju goes online, and before you know it, the whole world knows, and he can't stop himself sometimes and saying things which he may regret in a few seconds. Very often.
Yeah, but that's what I don't understand. Why do people say things which they know are just like I just don't get it.
Because you guys do it differently. Your frustration comes out with a little more wit. Everybody isn't like that. Some people are a little bit more salt of the earth. And I'm not supporting them again. I'm just saying they just say what they think. So for some people, an insult is just bencho. They can't, and you abuse it a little bit more, and you find they have 3 words, and then they run out of abuse. They recycle, and so banter doesn't work with them. What can we do? I mean, abusing somebody's 2-year-old daughter and all that. Obviously, he's a mentally sick person beyond a point. There's no need to go there. I mean,
Yeah, but are there so many mentally sick people? That's the scary part.
Have you not been in our country, Saru? Come on. No, sir. And don't act like you haven't noticed. I mean, just drive the car in Mumbai for 5 minutes. You'll know how many mentally sick people there are, including those who are walking on the road with the phone on and with their hand up, like the Pope has come, and then the whole country has come to a standstill. And this idiot is talking and walking.
Every day on Annie Besant Road, every day there are people jogging on the phone. I'm putting that.
And no eye contact, huh? Saru, what's with that? The responsibility is your pops. His face is that way. Now it's your decision to kill him. That's it. You want to commit murder? Go ahead. I'm off the hook. I've given you my hand. The hand of God has come. Bas, ho gaya. Another reference from football. Hopefully, Baru will note it and say, fuck you, Brocha. No more. I can't take it anymore, Tony.
बहुत अच्छा था.
Hai koi jawab? Wow. India should get into the World Cup actual final stage, man. Just to hear what we say. Hey, do they sledge in footy? Do they sledge each other while playing?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they do it in a very poetic and lyrical fashion. Yeah, I mean, the chants that come out, they pick up a popular song or something.
Footballers.
No, he's talking about the players.
I don't mind the singing stuff and all. I mean, that's fine.
No, so the chants are usually addressed at players, right? And referees. I mean, if you had actually come for a match in the ISL, Cyrus, I mean, every time the referee would give a decision against the home team, right? The entire crowd would just start singing like referee
Well, we went to DY Patil to see ours, so nobody knew who the home crowd was because all South Bombay had gone there. So it's not even our home. So that's the first problem. And against us, I think it was a Northeast United or whatever. And so there's no question of them. So everybody was like, it was just like a neutral ground. यहाँ पे शादी नहीं हो रहा है ना, ठीक है. Football! Started playing.
Football in Palghar for the first time in 25 years.
And you think, that for all that sporting thing of Mumbai, that somewhere between bloody Andheri and Colaba, they could find a field and let us. I mean, really, you punished us enough. You bring old men, 45-year-old legends to play. Still, we go to watch. The guy has got one leg left, but he comes in for 5 minutes and runs a little bit here and there. Everybody's clapping and screaming. And I suppose it's a good thing they get to make money.
So this guy,
like everything else in the world, they should have just found place in BKC to do this, man.
Oh yeah,
it would have been perfect.
Which apparently they do have the place. So yes, well put. Sorry.
And Nicholas Anelka, when he came to Mumbai City, he gave up mid-season and he's like, I'll just be the manager.
Oh, he stayed back.
He stayed back. Next season, he was just the manager.
He didn't want to run. So he became Desi. He made Anelka. He comes here and said, but I do not go on the pitch. That's the Indian way, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow, he went native.
Man, I was conned into buying this Anelka t-shirt.
You had to take out the jersey number and put manager yourself.
Now you're making into a suit.
Yeah. Just drew the tuxedo thing with a sketch pen or something. Yeah. And, thankfully, it was white. Okay.
Oh, there's one final question.
Yeah.
Comes in from Nevla Shah. He says, next year's Premier League will be resumed 8 days after the World Cup. Do you think there are too many football matches going on?
Yes, there are too many football matches going on, but that's not the way to really look at it because all the players are not going to be given rest till the end of the World Cup, right? Like 70% of them are going to get out within 10 days, 12 days of it. Yeah. So they had 2-3 weeks of rest and they're back. It's the same thing what happens even now. But in terms of too much football going on, correct. And yeah, they should somehow find a way. You can't have players.
This is the same thing with cricket and other sports, bro. They had 2 years of almost less sport, right? What about that? You've had enough time off also.
But there's just too much of cricket as well. Like, my God, there's just a lot of it. They have to find a way.
I know. I thought Rohit Sharma said something really wrong the other day against a match against New Zealand when he just screamed the two batsmen batting after he got out and he said, "Come on, Mumbai Indians!" And somebody said, "No, bro, it's India." So, this kind of thing happens all the time because you're going from one game to another.
Mistake.
Honestly, Amitabh Bachchan used to do that. He was acting in 4 films and he would ask somebody, Vijay nahi hai, naam kya hai phir? Rupesh, okay. Because, you don't know. You go from one to the other and, you're just doing your thing.
Yeah, and your favorite manager, Klopp, Cyrus, also said the same thing. He said there's just too much football and people making money don't really... Like, players are of the last consideration. And so, if manager is openly saying that there is too much football, which there is all the evidence points to, they have to do something about it.
But he himself has got a book coming out on VAR, referees and linesmen. Apparently, he's really, really not happy with the standard. It's been going on for some time.
The only thing I would tell Klopp is stop moaning, otherwise you will go to Italy and you will know what bad refereeing is. So, yeah.
But what is, just before, because what is with the VAR? That there's so much criticism of football VAR, not so much in cricket and other sports like tennis, but very much in footy. What's going on in that?
Because
it's so widespread right now. I think there was criticism for VAR in KBC last night. Yes. He was like talking about with his the contestant that, so you know what VAR, right? I don't like it. They shouldn't do this. Leave it to the referees. Referees are there for a reason. And the other guy, you're just like staring. He's like, I get football, but yeah.
I don't get it because even to the naked eye, when they do a slow-mo, sometimes I still can't make out it's offside or not, for example. It's really... I don't know.
It hit the peak when Sterling got called offside because his armpit was offside.
Exactly. How can you really define those inches here and there? It's a very hard call. So in that sense, I would prefer the naked, the human factor.
Way too many puns in the past 3 sentences, but okay.
Yeah, but if you do that, Cyrus, you are basically a Manchester United supporter.
In your face, Yash. Oh, come on. In your face, you old hippopotamus, you mammoth, you relic of the past. Understand what Cyrus is trying to say. I'm giving you the real reason now.
Yeah, so I think VAR is a good thing for anyone who wants fairness in the way it's being judged. But I guess we need something to cry about.
VAR
It
only
does
works
not
for me
get
in a
that much
marriage.
abuse in tennis, right? I mean,
No, it
they have
doesn't.
Hawkeye and
No,
everything.
but see, tennis and cricket are start-stop games. They're supposed to stop at that point of time. In football, the big problem is that the flow of the game gets stopped more than the decisions. That is something that irks me. That yeah, game chal raha hai, chalne do. They take ages to come to a decision.
But it brings some comic relief, right? Like Arsenal, like not
It
Arsenal
brings
as a
fear.
club.
Once you have
but-
lost security, that confidence in the system, it brings fear. You know your team is going to get screwed. The moment it goes in VAR, you say, fuck it, we've lost. We've lost
No,
the
so
VAR
wait,
challenge.
Cyrus, so what happened this weekend was like Arsenal scored a goal. Everyone celebrated. They did something for the camera. They posed in front of it, and they went back and it went to VAR, and the goal got disallowed for offside. So
Do
they
they
did
take
like a
back the
nice
celebration?
choreographed routine. But sad.
Wait, talking of VAR, Baru and I were in Russia for the World Cup, and we saw Portugal versus Iran. No, Spain versus Iran. And
You can't remember the game you saw after going all the way to
Some
bloody Russia.
Iberian team.
No, Spain versus Iran.
Oh, you racist men! Oh, God. I can't do this. This is the worst. We talk about this Twitter trolls and all of this. These guys are scary, Silvery. Not a kind word for humanity. Yeah, go on.
All right, so we were watching Spain versus Iran, and Iran scored a goal, and like we were all supporting Iran. We were with the Iran section. I think I hugged Iranian people, sang their songs,
You were in
celebrated
Kushrubag. You were back in Kushrubag. Yeah?
Yes. I did all of that, and then VAR says goal disallowed. So
ouch.
So me and my new Iranian friend were just so sad about it that they went on for 2 days. They're like,
honestly, that was my lowest point as an Iran supporter. So.
Ali Dai! Want to still have the record. Yeah.
He used to. It's over.
It was fabulous. No, just now, no? He's overtaken.
Ronaldo just
last season. Ronaldo.
When Ronaldo scored so many goals, yes.
K3 in hot pursuit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Come on, it's something. We'll take it. I thought it was great for Iranian football. I mean, they really love their football. I hope they do better in the next World Cup if they qualify. I feel a sense of if India doesn't, then you have to find what connect you have. So then Iran, there's some connect. We have to look. Like if you travel to Turkey, then Turkey becomes your team. You've got to find something. Yeah.
Support Asian teams always, man. They're just South American teams. They're so much fun.
South American teams are like Sri Lankan teams in cricket for me. Sometimes the names are just too tough, and then I just give up. I'm like, I can't do this, bro. I love you, but not, Brazil, I like Brazil. All of the pet names, Dunga and Punga, that you can live with. That's fine. But otherwise, my God, those guys have 5 names per person. Yeah, the footballers don't make it. I mean, a big name should only be given to a person who's rich. Because then it sounds great, you get a lot of money. But you got a bigger, and my name is Edson Arantes, Dinar Cimento, and you got nothing. What a big name. Silver, your name is too big, yeah, I feel.
Yeah, very low. I know.
Baru, you're getting distracted, but we're ending. Don't worry. Who's there? Is it a female? Who's offside? Last one. I thought I'd just throw it in just to piss you off.
There's actually also a Sacha Baron Cohen joke when he was asking about Victoria Beckham and David Beckham's stuff.
Sex life, yeah.
He's like, so does Beckham ever go offside?
Yeah, but he can only score from the set piece. So he has to be in bed and ready. There's no question of him running around. Sorry, Yash, I know you like your Becky.
Becky.
He knows how to get it over the wall.
True. No, I think that's fair. That's really fair that it was just too glamorous and so not looked upon with as much respect as he should have been. And his voice, bro, Yash, it's like Tyson. These guys can't be superstars. Those voices should be disallowed by all cultures. Have you heard David Beckham speak? He's like the young Lata Mangeshkar. It's very high, very hard to pick up.
Very high.
Yeah, and it's slightly feminine.
Do you remember this journalist who was asking Klopp a question in a post-match conference? And in the middle of the question, Klopp just fades away, and he's like, wow, you've got a really sexy voice. He's like, it's so erotic, and he's just flushing and stuff.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, your voice is so erotic. The translator, sorry, not the actual journalist. The translator's voice.
I presume female?
No, man. Like a male voice. masculine voice. I don't know what the correct term for this is anymore.
Red card coming up. I feel it, boys. Yeah. I wish we could do that. I wish we could do that in traffic. Everyone those shoots walk across the thing and we can put a red card. Hey, you! What's your name? Priyanka, this is for you. Out!
They should, Mumbai police should actually just take this up during World Cup season or ISL season. I mean, just start flashing challans on red paper.
Yeah, but you know what people are going to do? No, they'll just show the hand and walk away.
And they'll mention 86 Maradona and say, hey, it's good for him, it's good for us. Okay, boys. We've gone too long with our football talk, and Silvery's bored stiff because he hates sports. He's dedicated his life to anything but sports. And that's how you basically join a right-wing party, and you don't find too many great athletes in those parties at the moment. Silvery, shall we say bye? Can I go? Are we done?
Yeah, absolutely. Done.
Okay. Yash, Saru, and Baru, what a fabulous team. It's called Football Twaddle, IVM podcast. It goes out once in every 2 days.
What? You increasing your work?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week is too much.
We have day jobs.
Yeah, you want to make it less. Okay, fair enough. All right. Cool. So EPL, given us your take, but the World Cup is not that far away thanks to the pandemic. We've almost reached it. So it's a tough one, but who do you think? I know early form and all that. A year to go.
I know. I want Brazil to win. I love Neymar. So, yeah.
Okay, but that's more an emotional thing, but you wouldn't give us your intellectual researched answer?
That is for Yash to give.
Yeah.
Can it be?
That is for Yash to
Yash
give.
will give us Croatia.
No. I'm going to go with England. I'm going to go with my the league that I watch, and all the players that I see are going to bring it.
And that Maharashtrian guy at the top, Hari Kane.
Hari Kane. But even France has a Maharashtrian guy in the center, right? Kante. So I think it's going to be France.
Yeah. We're all over the place, bro. Don't you worry. Our Desi boys are there. We're being represented. And you, Baru? So you're going with France?
Yeah, France.
Again? Too much, Baba. Let's have a new team. Let's have a Japan or something. Can't somebody come from left field and win?
That would be a dream, but...
I am supporting all Asian teams. They let me down.
But you sound like one of those rich guys who pretends to have NGOs and interest in them. You don't really care.
Wow, that's actually pretty
accurate.
Cyrus, what about you?
Me? I have to support my home country of Italy, Baba. What's wrong with you? Then, but Iran, they qualify, otherwise Italy. It has to be Italy. Me and there's a family in Delhi. There's a family in Delhi. Me and that family, we're for Italy. Okay. All right, guys. Great fun. Nice talking to you. Have a good day and have a good weekend, because I think we've reached Friday. I'll have to check. Yep. Yeah, it is Friday. There you go.
Yep.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, Cyrus. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.
Hi everybody, just wanted to ask everyone for a quick favor. We're running a brand survey right now and would really appreciate it if you could let us know what you think about the advertising on IVM. Go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and do let us know. As part of this, we'll be selecting 10 random participants and sending them some IVM swag, so do fill out those surveys.